Emrashibedwe can say Toby why in free on a ordinance Shanti Ababa Emrasa eto miensa ye levy betting tax and emission tax no ye edia free ho.
Yadasu ejina Ghana mampani aswe sabre washe se wona esi edan anase waye bibi ewo bebia nsuo enam nsuo kwan no yenhwe anase mpanyi fonhwe no munjiri ni nyina engu.
Sanso ena waka se edwira gu ni ade nyina nso no se ye ho adwuma se eye monka mu beda ho na nsuo atumi atena fam se ne be nsuo to a enkofo hawo emre Ghana maima
ebekwa akopie me wasantemantem Adum blue light eho ena nano yanti asem de eja ehre drobe eho na nei enka ne so afo ana ohye enuanom enyinamonsem eye Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe wakopiem eho
sanso ena nipa bi de akwakoda mampani se eye Chief Justice Tumuafo Penny yenyini emfamfiri ona twese asem no nyame yado abosumi a yewo mu yi ne da toso enkron eno betena so ahwe ne kure na se die enimu wo mu omde ato babia eda
opanyi bi esusu se enei se yeye nhwehwemu afa nneoma bi hu a enka wo se yema no etimi etodwa se de be ya Ghana fo ebehu nsem no se de esiko na esiba we ebetimi aboa ama tentene ene perpe a ye pe o man mu ase no etimi agina brane
Anyway, Mekrobi Adama and no Magina cheese, Fakaseboy, Emremo, this way chocolate drink, Pabinum, Sanse, a Boapa, Ghana, Coco, we are singing at Ham baby, and no any idea. Yabinuma, in Tinuma, Boama, dear, we sent for pension share, and when any be no, Nefa, Dimmer, in so special mineral water, Muso, Papa, and for Hobia, Emre, Yefuno, and I need food need a bank one day in Tampano, we na Ebusano, and ye be Eddie, na 2 months in there, a YouTube editor sort of lynch in papa, and they would trade and Numa, a quay. Ema hoden so by sense ayodi no de papa e won chinuma e boama pomudin egina yie ye sikasem de na ye kɔ best point ho na ye kwakoto sikasem hu yie na bibia tumi egina de aboy sikasem tutu ne ya brabo ye de kasebo eba medin edi anim ado mene
Kwame Owusu Adiomi
ye ranse no na ye dan ani de akɔ omampani atena ye atena kasie mu na nei emra eba se yenye to ye yi levy sanso na betting tax any emission tax no mo de koye aban baaye no omo de kromna hyebedwom ye bra na akwanma sika no omo ka ho nsem no fotosamfo na o chese sa eto no ye yimfiri wo se de be ye oman Ghana ma omukomu ebe ha mo kakra na nei omampani de ose ayoyo se na Ghana mamra no ete no se mra hyebedwa na ye wia giso de nsa hyase ye omampani ansa na etumi ayeye na nei de nsa hyase se ye yimfiri wo na entumi emeye emra.
This is the electronic transfer levy repeal bill. That's the famous e-levy bill. I'll proceed to sign it. Okay, I've just given assent to the repeal of the famous e-levy bill. Now, this is the Income Tax Amendment Bill 2025 to remove withholding tax on winnings from lottery, betting, and games of chance. This is the famous betting tax repeal bill. And so I'll assent to it, 2nd April 2025. So betting tax is gone. Now, this is the emissions tax repeal bill. So, Emissions Levy Repeal Act 2025, emissions levy is gone. This is the earmark funds capping and realignment bill. This is the bill that caps the GET fund and national health insurance levy and moves those resources into the consolidated fund. We promise that we'll take the capping off, we'll uncap them. And so this bill uncaps the GET fund and the national health insurance levy. So the Earmark Funds Capping and Realignment Amendment Bill has been assented to. So it means GetFund and NHIL will receive the full amount of their levies. Promises delivered.
Ghana man Penny's Excellency John Dramani Mahama ene wakasa achemu se enche na nsuo no ebe gugu na nkran titru se nsuo no sha se gugu a se de nsuo no to na etimi eyiri fa amanfo ni nyina akoye se amanfo asisi edan ana afa omaye ne oma hodo asi bebia nsuo etenefa eye nsuo kwan enti ene wa hye se mpanfo hwe na bebia wo se nsuo etenefa bebia wo se nsuo efa no omo hwe na obi a waye bibi asi wa entimi emwa ma nsuo ntimi ntene se nsuo ni se gugu na nsuo na yiri na ese amanfo ajapade ne amanfo dan no omo hwe no mo ndwiri ni nyina engu.
Eid al-Fitr Day at the Black Star Square. A lot of the flooding in the city is caused by human activity. We are the problem. What is happening here does not affect the factories here. The water comes from somewhere, and once it can pass and continue, it will back up and affect the communities beyond. These are streams that existed long before our grandfathers were born. They are streams that flow from the Equape Mountains and find their way to the sea. Then we decided to come and build our capital city across the streams. So even if you build your capital city, you must allow the streams to flow through. People have built and blocked it. If you build and block a stream, the water will still come. But when it comes and it can't pass, what will it do? It will flood its banks. That's all that is happening in this city. And that's why we're asking the regional minister and the district chief executives to take a very tough stand on people whose properties are blocking waterways, because they're creating distraction for other people's properties and even loss of lives. Sometimes when it floods heavily, we lose human lives. And so it's not because we don't have a sympathy for people like that, but we must enforce the bylaws. And the point is, the assembly here, how did you sit and allow this to happen? How did the assembly allow this to happen? And that's why you have the chief executive, you have assembly members. They must be conscious of all this. These are waterways, like he said. Can you imagine the volume of water that this place alone can hold when it rains? And so if you fill it up and you'd say there should just be a drain passing through, the drain cannot contain that water. And so let's do what we have to do. They should remove all this, and it should be at the cost of the people who did it. They should take this back where they brought it from.
Yet once and so that home ejina mampeni aso no chese oban kraman your Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development eno ehwe eboa na yema monkamu ene ade ededa ho no chese enye se ebu adan egu keke wo se ehwe ne timonti monkamu se de be ya ensuo to a ebenya ba bia fa na de asomdwe ebebre o my Ghana matitiru ene momo ete nkran ne mpatemu.
We are in April. And the rainy season is about starting. We know that in May, June is the climax of the rains in Greater Accra area. These garage projects for desilting the major drains were given since last year. It is clear that all of them are behind schedule. And from what I have seen, these drains are not going to be ready before the rains open up. And if they aren't, it means that we must expect that there will be severe flooding this season. I would have thought that the contractors will take advantage of the dry season and work as quickly as possible so that we would have been ahead with these projects right now. But unfortunately, that hasn't happened. And so we just have to caution citizens of Accra that there's going to be severe flooding because of the delay in these projects. But we have to do everything to alleviate destruction of property and loss of life as much as possible. But I've charged the Garrid Secretariat and the Hydrology Section and the Ministry to pay constant attention to make sure that all the projects that have been awarded under Garrid to make Accra resilient from flooding are speeded up as quickly as possible so that we can minimize the flooding. These have to do with the major drains, but they're also the minor drains that feed water into the main drains. And with some of those minor drains, it is just people building walls across or building their properties in the waterway that is causing flooding to their neighborhood and all that. And as I said on the day of the Eid al-Fitr, we're going to mark all those waterways, and any person whose property is in the waterway, the property will be taken out so that we can minimize the loss of life and destruction to property that occurs every year. We cannot sit and throw our hands up in the air as if there's nothing we can do about it when we know the exact cause of what the flooding is. And so we're going to take this seriously. I've charged the minister. We're soon going to appoint the district chief executives. And so the minister and the district chief executives must all survey their various districts and see what is hampering the flow of water through their districts. And we will take measures to remove those obstructions in the waterway so that we can have a city that is resilient and where people every year in, year out, continue to suffer destruction of their properties because of other people's recklessness. So Minister, you and your team look at this and work as quickly as possible. Work as fast as possible before the main rains open up. After the rains subside, normally after July in Accra, the rains go down, and so we can see what work we can. But in the dry season, we must take advantage and finish these projects as quickly as possible.
Bosumi etwam ena eye a police for Bosumi etwam de toso dunum ena police for Ensaka Brante friend Daniel Owusu Kranten na sa Brante police for yo mo hwehwemu no mo chem se eye Ahmed Suale ya amemfo ebo ni tu eku no man ifrat as far as so no omo susu sa Brante enimhu bi na a police for egusu ya asemu hwehwemu Brante e wa ban kukum ne ne okopiem e wo court ananka ne lawyer ehwese nka ebetimi ama Brante bill na so aban code before HM say nhwemu egusu koso nti Abrante nya de say aban ma ni bela ebetimi aye na so yen kopiem e waseni bia yen reporter Philippa Atanga ene okopiem e court e fansemi hu yen kwa omaso ne ene Philippa enkodi nkomon bisa ne say Ahmed Suale ewo hu nsem ya kopiem e court no say ena nsem esi ko Philippa memo ajo eba UTV kasebo so
mejo so Ike
jo na da okopiem e aseni bia efa Ahmed Suale ewo ho ne hwehwemu a police for eye na ukopie mu no ensembe na court odi efri ebaye
yo ene Madina District Court na asemnie no court so na ne ekobaye ne se etiefo anasa ahwefo bekaya na wotwemienu atwemu no na kwadu aye de abo owura yedindi Daniel Owusu Kranten ne se onna wekum Ahmed Suale na eye kwadu ba kope na eye meda na kwadubofo no ka kire eye court no na ano se omugusu a eye omuhwehwemu na ebe esumi akwa akoba se omubeye nsakremu nkata na omudi ato court n'enim no ombeye hu nsakremu kakra na ene court tenancy no kwadubofo no de nkata afofo na abetu court n'enim atisi akwadu aye de abo Abrante Daniel Owusu Kranten no akoye mienu idi kan eye murder na ne tosu mienu eye abetment na chese oboa ma yekum Ahmed Suale na okenkan chat sheet na ne akwadubofo na ka ne se eye Abrante asamre o share abankuku mu a ne lawyer Repeal ama na bill na ambaso no eye Daniel Owusu Kranten no yesi onna na one Abrante Ahmed Suale eye ejuma e wo Tiger Aya Centurion Anas Arimeya Anas ena edi omunimu na ansa na yebekum no ona no nim baby o te sanse no ye ne nyonko pa ono nim baby ana o te ene mea okotena tena na ase mea okoje na home enti ono odi mrantie mienu bi anim ena omokoye no mokobo ni tu ewo baby o te wo Madina ena ofi atiasefo asase su na sam mrantie mienu na yesusu se eye dan e kwanti na edi omunimu ede omoko baby Ahmed Suale etino sam ranti ni no kwadu bofo no chese sam read omo de omo adwane app osifo san ye hwehwe omo dendende na senya odi kan editu dwa no na nka ne lawyer Kofi Esel pese ye mani bill na emum kwadu bofo no chief inspector nana efu abanfo anje antume sanso omo so omo gusu omo hwehwe enti no on koswa na ye remand no sene ye be ye omo hwehwe ni wia na ne ewo ho no na omo de atoa so na kwadubofo no ewie ye na otemuafo no se waje so pene na wetu asem no ahye 17th April se ombesa afre enti nyame ya Adum 17th April eni be hu se afi ebe ma ni bill ana se nsaka efufu bia ebesan aba
Jo Philip Amedase mame found free Madina District Court na me found kopiem was Supreme Court minim say na so ukopiem wo ho efa nsema eye mrahye a ogina ho ematafo honorable Echo Vincent Asifo de akopiem say petitioner Ghana man His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ensa ka say Chief Justice yenhwe ne yini free ho no ho nsem ekopiem Supreme Court na also okoye na amane no etesen
yo na nke ne na ye hwe ni mu se ni aye kan se injunction na se nkrata Vincent Echo Asifo ide akoto Supreme Court ni se mema Supreme Court na mama mpani John Dramani Mahama kwan onyi Chief Justice anase ontu ni mfi ade so no ne ye hwe ni mu se ke ne ebeba so ewu Supreme Court na emom sa asem no entumi amma so Supreme Court chese omo de asem yi no ahye 9th April nti butumi ya ne da etoso nkro na ombesan afresa asem na ama akwa se ne etie se Supreme Court ne beji eye mrahye na asem na oka no ombeji atumu ana se omunji ntumu nti sa injunction application no ne hearing ana se ye besi hu nkonya ene ewu Supreme Court no amaso ewu Supreme Court ene
na honorable Echo Vincent Asifo abra kopie mu ewo Supreme Court no ohu no wo ho ne na lawyer for etimbe pie me wo ho
enti meje di se no omo de omo nya ho nti omo esanse omo na asem no form ho nti no meje di se na omo nya ehu te sa asem no emma so enti ema ye ready se ebe ko Supreme Court na e dia ene de ebe ba so no ene ye nya nti ye se asem ye no kra amma so ene enti no information a ye pick up na parties ne dia na say ono asem ne fa no ana so ono a odi asem na koda in Supreme Court ne dia ye ni ammo ne so ho ye gidi say samre ya ye nyina ye nya ne nti ye say 9th April ana say busum ya ne da etoso nkon e na Supreme Court e besi nkunya no ye den ya obeba esanse ona odi asem na da in Supreme Court
Philippa ebedase obekoswa edi nsem yechi na bebi ebekọ akopie no ode abre yete for ye reporter na say nsentro ni Philippa atanga ena ne yete ne kan efri Madina District Court ena fe Supreme Court nsem yenu ena ode amaye
aha na yesremo ne dan ye ho de asede di kan ama yaboafo ye ba ye beto akase bono so Jaffa Makwa ye to akasebo no so na Ghana efoma gudi obade de ache kwan efa so tunu ba bi wo ha na ntunu kwan pa so na ene se ebi e de se kwaye ebi de se nsuo na no na omo hwe wimbo bre ne ade Environmental Protection Agency pani oda no Dr. Entwibu Esiako amwa de nsema to se yanhwe a enche oman Ghana ye be kre nsuo afie aman bi so ansana nya bia no sense aka abo ho dewura na so mpanifo hwe so ntu so sa enti nsuo na amanfo etufo magudi o ma yensuo nyina eguso ase ebi nso ayefia wo dane ani a enyeye
eye dawbo se na me ya megidi e pa se Ghana fo nim esunsun so se me no tra ya ka se ye nim dodo na mentimi ka se obia but nipa dodo na no enim esunsun so a ewo eba yare eba ya sitinem any idea. You expect say you sitting on no nsuo bebrebe so there will be a lot of the water bodies will be no more. Nsuo so you say water is life. And this nsuo ni wa enkwani ho. Enti nsuo so ba kono. Yare bebre betima ba because nsuo kura ni ho no de yare ba. Ena nsuo na binom be force ba nom ni nsuo a air polluted. And also the yare bebre ba. Adika kan awo steel belts and some deformities are associated with awareness and man. We expect that those things. People are talking about importing water, but do we even have the economic muscle to do that? Countries are more they struggle to do desalination and all those things. And so on there, you are so you are sitting among so which is a man. Oko baby. Ye 2 mines na that tunnel Manso area or Boase Takwa area wo de compare enema bo na fa ko babia fa toto babia yentu aduane e kire wo say food availability there no is scarce enti enema bo ye den ho no scaliba zia Ghana ha babia omo ye mining oko northern part it used not to be a mining zone. Now they are doing mining over there. We claim that area is food basket for the country. And if they are going to go that tangent as Takwa or Boase, Amansia, then gradually we'll bring the whole country to a halt.
Ya to akasebo no so ane kopiem ewo Adum Kumasi blue light eho na nano yante asemde eja ya efa ho stores ahodo ho nyina ahye drebe na ene enkane so afo ano ohwe enyinam ono anso na akopiem ewo menhia safa ona na ye mrahye bedwani a oho Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe wakopiem ewo ho ene adwadifo a omo sebi oma anuoma ahye na sabri omo ensunu egudem na omo hwe se mpanifo betimi abo omo no one adwadifo akodi nkomo
Bosumi a etwam no na eja a ano den pa to Adum bia friend say blue light akwakwa ya tete ma free bra asem ni siye no empanifo ne adehye bebre en wode wani abehwe a wabekyekyere adwadifo no awere asem na aka ho bi amaka ne soafo a na ohwe ya ho ne ensam so Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe onukure ya no be ye frankatuni abediekire edema NPP amanyoko no ono so ede nani krotwa wisi ba Adum blue light a wo so obehwe ade a esiye ene nsamo edie na obedru ya odene samutu dwa no na oka kire adwadifo ne se e wo so munyina ka bomu no mo ye anokro enam sepraye uyi ba kwa nebuo na oka bomu a entimi emu Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe eba no woni mrasebedwafo mienu ene baaye subi mrasebedwani lawyer Kofi Obri Yeboa ena afi menhia mrasebedwani lawyer Nana Eje Bafo awua na ebra obae no so wa manensapan de dikan no 100,000 Ghana cedis bia wode baaye wose every MPs common fund enam so ayemra sebedwani da said etia sika ne bikaya e wo so de ye adwuma ntini mra sebedwani fofra waba no ono so etechire no mayi sika no e de ye adwuma afi okọ no nkasa nso na account mu a wo de 50,000 Ghana cedis ebeka ho
adwuma ashi enka wa unhu se de ade na ye ne eti the medical se nyamena emom ho bai na baby for ho ka na aban kidikidikidi wabeboa baby for hoka aban onyedai ihentebe nipa do edidwa wa egina no o se omuti aban ka Now, Mestre Boan Casacasa beautiful. Munyako. Man, come on, move. Now, Obinama. Oh, be Fred dance a day. I was say bar. You who say, ye be a day. Name Minia lawyer Bacoso Jamin Chair. Me say, MP's common funding. Media Skaka. Meant me on fine Yajuma. My MP, Mensia South, Chow. Said Nanny Chaya. 100,000 cities out of the on in your agree. On 5 day more, said the Bayer, who met me, and this is Cano Abua. And so, everybody to me, can they say, can they say, Mr. Biboto, 50,000 Ghana cities. As I say, cement. Suspect the Muhia there, spent 500 bags.
Chairman Edema United Traders Association Ora Joseph Ansam ena ojina edwadifoni nyina nem ena ode asede ndi kabia ema doctor na pose womani so papa
panifo ba ye nyina nyamisam the scientist say asam tu ye munya ye mudda ye da mwase nyamisam ba na sikasema na woka no enipa wa ha nyina yake ho abobu aye ekuo ba ko a United Traders Association ana yakopie bank account enti afrata wa womo ewachi ho womo wosto mu ye nyina ka ye ho abobu enti sika bia ya sabato so bia na ye da koto bank se ne be ya se tise bia wa ye nyina baka ye trabo mu na ye try san tise enti sa wo kan na tise ya e wo ho no na de asa da asia ebi emre bio
Senebe ya Ghana nyam kanea ebegyina so ye na oman Ghana dum so ne keka ho bi from mu no iwadwuma ku a ehwe Ghana nyam kanea ensem so Electricity Company of Ghana ne no na ban bio chese ohwe nkrate mahwe se ho be makwan se be mankrankra bi do musika ba be wura mu senebe ya ebetumi akoyie na eku omote so mo hwehwe sansem no osoafo ohwe nyam kanea ensem so mo de ho ensem akwakoda ne se omadwe nkyere se na sitie nti omohwem na se beboa de omusuesu aye no.
Almost all the relevant stakeholders in order to advise government on the way forward. Ultimately, what we seek to do is to ensure that we have reliable, affordable, and dependable supply of electricity. This exercise is not the end of the road. In fact, this is the beginning. Because we thought that before we undertake or pursue this step, we needed to consult broadly. And so this is exactly what the committee has done. They've given us 3 options. Option 1, option 2, option 3. And in all the 3 options, it's quite clear that none of them talks about outright sale of ECG and its assets. And so I just thought that I should make it clear so that nobody goes to misquote us or misrepresent us to say that the committee has recommended that ECG be sold. In all the suggestions and the options, it's quite obvious that ECG will still remain the asset owner. And then, depending on which one we choose, we'll make progress. The next step from here will be to do a position paper to cabinet for the entire government to consider and approve the option that we will be pursuing, following which we would establish a project implementation committee. We would also have to get a transaction advisor, make this process as transparent and open as possible, with emphasis on local content and participation. And so we encourage everyone to support us and to ensure that we deal with the challenges confronting the distribution sector. Today, as we speak to you, on a monthly basis, we incur a deficit or a shortfall of more than 1 billion cedis from the distribution sector, and that has a cascading effect on the rest of the power sector players. And so clearly, something must be done. And what we are seeking to do is to reform the sector, get private sector participation, improve the system, increase revenue collection, and ensure that there's increased overall efficiency. And so, once again, let me thank the committee. This document will be put to good use, would assimilate it, and don't be surprised that we'll have to fall on some of you, even when it comes to the project implementation itself, because we are quite convinced that you've gained a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, and you would be at the cornerstone when it comes to implementing the whole private sector participation.
NDC amanyoko abramo bontoa asemba kwa na eda omano se nyame ya omadom na Ghana for to abama omo no mbedi ban a de ombeye 24-hour economy na ne aka ho bi ma okopiem e Ghana Investment Promotion Councilor panyi kwantrefo a aban ayi na ohwetire se obetoto neoma Yewura Simon Maji ene wadan ne ho adi se 24-hour economy no obehya se de be anwumaku ahodo a ompese omone Ghana Investment Promotion Council adwuma no akwan ne da bia so mo pebre ene omo adwuma nko a ne se edan mu kwa na obenya omo na emom 24 hours omo be ho ha omo betimi ni omo adwuma odin se we nyina to dwa ene ewon kran abra 24-hour economy ewo GIPC no odanadi.
I say 24-hour premium service. You say investors no mobile, no more buy a hall for registration, and now some mobile hall for quotas, how many be call immigration. And now, do na so bisa say on bed de nyano within 24 hours. And yeah, show man you say bit me aye, enti ni ashase no. And also boa because ye need to say buying pianse ye nya be call him with what they call the 24-hour economy. Now say 24-hour economy ni be here. I was here to making sure say register say open business now also about GIPC so foreign participation now so a Ghanaian company now person register with GIPC how about the service is open for you a premium near here say what take over online now what take so me per se me register me GIPC registration within 24 hours and I'm me code test within 24 hours near here normal. Yeah, started with Accra because do now Accra over 76% of registrations are Accra but enche you be call other regions because I know so here investor bia hu here and you say ye fa akwanya so ebo de ro catch amanfo nya businesses are more foreign participation say mrase omunya omne GIPC omo be register with GIPC nti ye yesro so omo hwe na omo be register with GIPC.
Ya transfer no so na ye ko eye kantamantu dwa ohwe omomoton entade efiama no ne ba de ya hye ne kakra second hand clothes no profokasem no nansen oyuni atomo ema edwana ekohye ne no na edwadifo no bi ekyese nipa ba akoma kodu nsi omdo manim se edumi ensa omdo manim se akanifo no omohye no mtutu ne ade no emu na ho mfa mo papa nti be ya obi nko no obi mra mu nsi fom ne mfa nipa from eshoma no se ne be ya kantamantu dwa no makanifo no ombedi omanim ye na asem bi ba mbatutu ne ye na yeso mbatutu no ejeje mu
obroni wawu ya from one tintini tietie nyina ne se ya mpanifo amudi anim no market ye wakuakuo mpanifo no chairman ya hwem no mo ye 13 fo no madu enwamo kase omadi ya ne se ya ne omo na tidwo mu a sesa ha hie e ha machi kura no mo ye bibi omo ne obi anwene ho omo de omo pe ana eye omo de obi anwene ho de omo pe bia na makọ chichire ade abehye dwane ko na de omo ne se ende ye gina so se pani bia pani makmako 13 no omo twe omo mfiri dwane ho ye yi omo so mbe lidi dwane ende ye press conference ye wi ye mpese pani bia ebe gina mu se wo ye pani na ye dwane na ho na ye no ye twe se edwane ye be hwe obehye dwane se edwane be gina ni titiru ni se omo hye ase afiri ba bia ha hye no omo de ekuo bi ebreye so omo ye foundation for ba yeso ye de asototo form no ekuo ne from more foundation ekuo ne ye de asototo form no ye hu se nya kuo se omo ye foundation so mbabu adwa no omo beji dwa no emom na afiri yansam because ye hwe omo ne ye bi ani mpanifo ne nkomo bi omo ne omo de mpanifo ne ye katanso mu aso awoni ye mabiri hu ye hu se omo agenda ni titiro ni nyina ne se omo ne akoye meeting bi akoto jo manjo online say yeah muni dwama na meeting say yesi yate ye ho free yard mu fo importers yard mu fo importers so e nipa baako ye ni yard mu fo atra no 45 years me wo dwoma no 35 years mu na me koi ya yard mu na me ko fam niema betwa o foundation for na show mo say o mo nti o mu free yard mu fo na je say o mo beboa ye nim agenda wo mu so unu papa tena 45 years no bi ba be 2 years onu kire so onu papa pamo papa free dwomo enti anu de yesu adwuma ye enti ase
menti ase se ejoye nipa more than 20,000 ewa na nipa mako 13 pe etu bi kire am se omo wadwene na ese dwane mfa so ne enko se se e be sre all foundation for omo de 2,500 cedis na bre ye do amase me meje media me rekokoto namwe eti esram se ye said ye alaji kan no kumasi ahye omo hiamwa omo divert attention ni kumasi na mo katamanto de nyame adom se ye si dwana wie se je dwana so e fesi do bebre o kata enkra eti de hie se si ane se omo free edom ankokura ye ba akatamanto asase we so fata good years ni katamanto abua the whole Ghana ama Ghana for Omampani John Dramani Mahama ame ati asiese katamanto after 5 years no oba boya ma edwa no akonanim ye daya asore ya of adeshi mo base sesia no mo na mo boya mo boya obuo bi wi a se ko oba bi afere de mo se wo chese edwa no ye fa edwa no nhyɛ mo nsa ama mpanifo no mo trance agye de omo beje yam pre ene ema overdose for my abiem ye wo moa omampani se obaboa ye enti omampani obaboa ye enti ye hia mo abiem
amode amoa na tuboa ye ena ye wo ha ne yesi enti obi ehu ye mobo tuboa ye ni sika bi ena mo betita ye 2,500 ebi nya ye ebi anya enye obi ana nya ye enti mo settle obi a ye sramu ye benifo no efi ana ko ye step down. I will step it down. Cantamanto away. Yes, suffer. Yeah, break. Yeah, ma. You know, Bia. A gun in the head. Yeah, drama and you are from a free and some. I chairman for 13. A fin na
ye beda ne ye ho age aboafo nkrato ye ba ye de kasebo no beto aso. Wakwa abaye to akase wono so ane kopiem ewo okre edukrum mensnemu eho na aban nhihye ya oyese agenda 111 hospital ya ombesi amanipa ewo mpotemu wo ho etimi atomo na omaya hwe etimi akonkan no hospital ba ko a omasi awie no ya aban eso ya ehwe apomudensem so Ministry of Health na omakopiem ho ahwe ama hospital omasi awie omadane ama mpanifo.
This particular project that Okere Hospital that they were here to hand over is among other 11 facilities that have been completed that are namely found in Jumapo, Kwabin, Nkwetia, Achiase, all in the eastern region, Swame, Drobonso, Chedie, Manson Kwanta, and Sabrono also in Ashanti region. And then we have a main in Ahafo region. And then the final one is Pum Katamanso in Greater Accra region. All these projects were completed by the Development Engineering at a cost of 71.5 million euros with support from Seska Sportling and IGAP from the Czech Republic. Indeed, the ministry has completed 12 facilities at a total bed numbers of 470 beds. From the foregoing, it's obvious
Ozafa makwaba ye 27 so akoye mpatem kasebo abribia di ebremo no na ye konfifi mantem na kopiem ogumwa nyanya na manfo ho hs ejanabia na nkakane yesi amamu no entumi anwie peye enti nansen wo hwede ekoso a amanfo petemu eni babia ensem fata senipa ejana no mujom na no na de yare ne ohaw ede bremo ewo ho.
So yeyi tefu ho tefu ja o se wo de sika bi o ma mi me fe ho ma ba puna tefu na me ngi sika nti o de me ba ha e mo ba tefu ho nti tefu me ba ha ni ye da me di eyido bi nyi wo mu nti ni mu nto mamba na fe fe ye gbe ka se tete ya ne mpalegman na ye nti se na me ba ni ye wo to na me ya ha to paro do ma tefu di ma wo ntu mu ko tefu mu afọ o de me Usually, Mukote Funu, Abaya by Yampi for by your ban hand of two body. Now, yes, our day, yes, we are 2 room. You baby are able to work well and you go. You couldn't say a chronos home. Meme Martino, no binti. And see about Saba, a patch about Panicho, the young man, a battle. Now, what much of first while we have on for me or a Panana, no phone call. Yes, son, no man, I'm laying a container, they put no soon. When I got away, do baby, auntie. Yes, container, able to ball and able to go now. Was not half as smart what the baby I'm in. I'm a hand watch. Any baby, ha, nearby, any baby, and today I able to go away. I could take for her. Any baby, I could take for her. Since Bobo, I know now, I could take for 2 brown, I'm going to sit down with her. It is said I am a young Hanayaba, able to go away. I could take for her. The I am mistaken. I will let you feel what should come. Obi boto bolo be kato so fon ko muneba abada me misa bola no wa to gu na ko baka de na no so wa ka okasa na se sample na no na ekobuom nti sample na no kwa ekoko na kono ya ma na adeko anu nti na ya ba won nti sa ba bran ya container na se ya hwewo ne ye digumedia ya mfo ngumpu na no e dibu container na zum na ya ba fa ko ya saba sa ya mwa ana bia ya hata nam no wono so a abẹ bola ya saba na ambo boye na yen fence wall fence wall na me ya bakata fence wall echi
ye to aso won potem nsem a yedimu kopiem ewo Asante Mampon eho na border kese a na eho ebe emrefre santini ya mpanifo ntimi enye ho dwuma na ha amanfo no eko bi from BOS Foundation na omakopiem ho ama sa border yi omatimi atu efre ho de amomo.
The people in Newtown said that what's bothering enthusiastic with the low bed. And the assembly has been so kind. Taxation in Mampong is at a high importance to me because it brings so many diseases like cholera, typhoid, so many malaria. You know, right now there's so many flies here. The scent is unbearable. And there are houses and there's a school right behind us. So I care for the health for the people in Newtown.
Sɛ ne wohwɛ Newtown ɛne Mampong ase ya obiara ni agye ɛbɔ yɛ maame na aba so ɛyɛ nanaya Beatrice ɔware waseɛ ɛnɛ dwumadi a yɛ a wɔdi no wɔ Mampong ha Mampong hema yɛ nana ɔsɛ ɛbɔ nsu kyɛ sɛ ahemfo ne nyinaa ani agye sɛ ɔbaa watumi anya saa akokoduro sɛ ɔha wei ɛwɔ saa school wei mu school no so na yɛ mmienu baako ani ɛna baako yɛ wɔ akyi bɔɔla wei no ɛda school no mfimfi nti yɛn nyinaa yɛnim bɔɔla yare yɛ betumi de aba yɛ mmɔfra yi ahayia na ɔmo di agorɔ na nsɛn a yɛte sɛ kɔrɔ abreki wɔ areas no baabi no ayɛmhyehyia nti yɛ maame no ɔbaa yɛ no yɛne no bɛkasaeɛ ɛna ɔba bɛhwɛ yɛ no kwasɛm ni first day I ne ba ya ya obehu ye no in fact anam se ɔyɛ ɔba na ɔyɛ ɔba tampenti no ni so bra no ɛtata no ma ni so gu ye nti ɔno nso hyɛ bɔ sɛ kwan bia so ɔbɛfa so abetu bɔɔla yi nti na no yɛn kan hyɛm na yehu sɛ ɔde na fidie efiri kumase aba ha ya ɔne assembly no ɛbɛkasa ya assembly no so no ɛboa no ɛyɛ tipa trot no na ɔmode etu bɔɔla yi efiri wɔne ti no kwasɛm ni yɛni agye
Ewiso awo mpatemu ene ensema ewo ho yekọ efifi mantiwa kopiemu ewo gomua takwa na mafo gomua takwa kyerese we di aban omo kotodwe egu fom oma kwan ye moma akwantu ni akobedi enkoyi mfama omo tombesre sa aban hwe no mrem no meyo makwan mfama omo
jen yen na ya nem de yen kwan a ewo gomua enye kwa gomua kwan so endoso ofi apam junction ede bagbo matakwa de kwahiem to haso de kwanya by 10 minutes he said more than 1 hour na yeditwa ebe bi kwana kwan posi efa so edu de ba abodom de bagbo matakwa kwan so enye iti asra ban de once wa body first 4 years edi yese de bi da kwan no ayi amahe amahe so bemofo yetum yakada yiwo aban bai watuma ye bi amahe kwan de enye iti asra me yati de Minister for Roads and Transport baba Minister for Road oba na wabahwe ya kwan no ya kana de e watwenum omba na mo hwe kwan ofa mehe na yeso ya ho twen ya ha ni hospital kasi bia wa ha no ya hospital kasi ayi so aduro anada apam anada wi ba kwan so na say nso bi yare mpo na ya kada ya na kwa apam anaya ku so aduro a akwan ya fa do ba 20 minutes anada 30 minutes no ba 2 hours ni ndi ebodum pun ba kun mpo na ampata na wa hwe no kwa kan kanyala wona awo kan wona wo kokodam hospital kwani yenti bebi na aka bibia wo ho ehwa gumatakwa ha na yan chip compound ha no enye kra nti me be ma sha se de ye innovate ne si chip company bi eka ho menu anuma da ahemfo no so na mpanyifo a odi ba no nyinara mo a wonkade abangotin na baye ye na so yentutu nse ayankofo enuanom na wona wo pe de wo pe wo boa wo so mba na wo boa dan asem ya bi se ozi kan ya hin na na atakwa kwa jiro pusu papa no ne kwa asem de oye na afameze bira wo chi no ya hin onfo na adwuma ye ntufum kra be gina ye hu
obusafo ekwan wase wi aboboa no ha ena brema ho kwan me de kasebo ni nyina asi de ka wo se president se nkanche wo se hunya pa nipa yesen ye no nyam kase pa nti anwumre ukoda bomodin na cavity fighter no fa yitwo se kama na ya hoden ewom ebeboa ma wo se agina yi sanso na so no panso a abusua ni nyina no president fa yitwo se ema ese no anya hoden akoyi edi amao modern na hye nso na ye ne sa na ebetumi aboa na de wo se anunyam atumi atena ho ye di nsem yi ebremu eyeme anim ado mene
Kwame Owusu Adum